Good morning. Moon's sitting there breathing. He was a little dog that was walking down the streets. Got picked up and he could barely walk. He was just almost collapsed. And he's been with me ever since. He's a little fuzzy guy you'll see the pictures of from time to time. But the reason why I'm um, coming to you uh, this morning is because years ago, many years ago, before I was even born, there were animal cruelty laws before there was child protective laws. And they used those animal cruelty laws to apply to a girl that was being mistreated at the edge of town, like, horrible conditions, kept in a cage, etc., etc. And a doctor and the animal control guy were sitting there, or animal humane guy. By the way, the ASPCA is founded by Aaron Berg. He was a ambassador to Russia. This guy was whipping a horse. Anyways, that was the oldest humane group in the 1865 or something like that. Anyways, around the Civil War time. So, anyways, there was a doctor sitting at the end of the bar. They were drinking, and they go, too bad that little girl. We need to bust that guy. Too bad she's not not an animal. I could do something. And then the doctor sitting there, puts down his whatever, turns around and says, but she is. She's a mammal. Da 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 da. So then they, were able to save the girl through the doctor and the animal service guy, to save that little girl. And they started creating CPS, Child Protective Services. So that's how that started. And then things, there's always been this animal control, private people, humane groups and stuff since forever, it seems like. And but the reason why I'm coming to you is because the what's going on in LA can coincide with that. When I busted California Animal Care, Teresa Lars and Christine Dura. Oh my God, I love Christine. She sings like, oh my God, she sings like Cher. Her and Tyra. Oh man, they're such a beautiful couple. They come up and walk animals through the desert. But anyways, Christine was worried about this dog, and I said, well, just call. I thought Animal Control, California Animal Care was cool. So I said, well, Christine, just have them trap it. Nobody could get this dog. It was on a corner of Cathedral City, popping out. And I go, have them trap it, and then we'll see, if it's vicious, if it's this, if it's that, whatever it needs, I'll try and help you. But I don't have a trap at Save a Pet. So anyways, okay, so they called, and Daryl Hitchcock and the crew from California Animal Care went over and trapped the dog. And anyways, they went over there, and Christine went over there, and she goes, oh my God, Herb, it's horrible here. It's horrible. And so I told her to get a videotape 3 different times during the week at different days, so they can't say, because every shelter is dirty in the morning. And I told her, get it 3 different days in the afternoon, this and that and everything else. And snowball. Anyways, so they did. And Christine asked me to come over to her, and I saw it, and it was horrible. It was horrible. There was animals with broken backs still alive laying around. There was in their own just filth, just what they would do, because there's a 3-day hold. Even though they're supposed to get them veterinary care, what happened was they waited for 3 days, without veterinary care for the owner to come, and then they just kill it, and they would get money for every dog they rounded up. And it was just horrific. And so, anyways, I shared the tape that they got out, and when I saw it, I promised Christine I'd do something, and I shared the tape, and through a whole bunch of just beautiful people. First, everybody was angry at me. The 4 cities: Cathedral City, Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells, and Palm Desert, and they were all mad, all the city managers, da, da, da. But anyways, I put the county and the city together, and we floated a bond with a tiered level of participation through the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, and that's how the Coachella Valley Animal Wide campus started. So, anyways, don't forget all that. Think of what I said years ago in the desert. The shelter at Cathedral City was beautiful. Then they privatized it. Then Rancho Mirage couldn't be outdone. They needed a privatized animals. And so then Indian Wells, they privatized it. Then Palm Desert privatized. They all thought that was good. And what happened was they made no improvements in the shelter. And so you had this giant sphere of influence, like this giant funnel of people as the desert grew, with no improvements because Daryl Hitchcock and Bob Sanford, they were making money. Hand over fist, contracting with the cities. Same things happening in this, so the more they brought in, the more money they would make. Same is happening now in the streets of LA. They're not going after gang members. They're going after grade schools. ICE is showing up at grade schools, at graduations. They're showing up at day labor place, people that want to work, the easy targets. They're not going to East LA. I'm from there. They're not going to East LA. They're not going to, Southgate or any of the places where the gangs and the drugs and, are heavily done. They're just going after the easy targets. People showing up to court to comply with all our laws. They're just rounding them up, easy targets. Why? Because the prisons are privatized. And so they're making money on every head. It's not about our safety. It's not about our security. It's not about shit other than making money for Trump's friends. That's the truth. If they were really interested in our safety, your safety, my safety, drugs and fentanyl and all this crap that they spewed for whatever reason people voted for the clown, they would be there busting down doors in the drug areas, in the gang areas. They would be doing that instead of showing up and picking up people that just want to make a living, dishwashers in restaurants, people showing up for court to be legal, doing what the law required them to do. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. They're not after they're going after the easy targets because they're making money, because they've privatized our prison system, period. And Trump's friends are making money hand over fist. That I saw it with the animal world, cruelty charge, for children. It started with if you transfer that into the human race and what's going on in government, you know exactly what's happening. They're making money hand over fist because they privatized the prisons, just like Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells, Cathedral City, and Palm Desert privatized their animal services. And it funneled in to this little bitty teacup of suffering for animals. And that's what's happening to the people that they're rounding up. It's not about drugs. It's not about illegals. It's not about lowering crime. It's about making money. It's not about you. It's not about me. You gotta, midterms are coming up, vote. We gotta vote these bozos out of office. Love for all. And that's the reality, man.